personifies why we are first in and last out of a recession, why we have a bad reputation for doing things in a way that is not okay. And then I represent new leadership. Quite frankly, a new generation of individuals that are stepping into politics and deciding that enough is enough and that we want change. I have never been in politics. I am a mom, I am a businesswoman, I am self-made, and I am sick of career politicians like Dan McKee ruining the state. Woo! Thank you. That's true. And so this year, there's a choice. And really what we get with Dan McKee is we get someone that has two problems. And there are two qualities in leadership that you look for that he is lacking. One is character. And so when we talk about leaders' character, it is really about integrity and representing the office and caring about the office and the institutions that support it. So why I say he is not of good character, which I understand his feelings are very hurt because I'm very mean to him, is what I'm hearing. That's what he's saying. He's crying on stage about how mean I am and all that stuff. It is what it is. It's just the truth. Which his character is, you do not, on state email, give away contracts to your friends and ask how many millions of dollars. That is corruption. That is a character issue. It's also illegal, but it is a character problem. It means that you don't respect the taxpayers, you don't respect the government, you don't respect the laws, and therefore you are of bad character. The other character issue that we saw is one that is really clear. It was so clear. Like, you know those moments with politicians that's really somehow ruin their career as politicians, where all of a sudden you get a glimpse of a politician, how they really are versus how they are when they're, managed by staff and all of that sort of stuff. So what we saw on primary night was Dan, he had won by just a little bit. He barely won. And he was on stage. I'm telling you guys, if you missed it, but don't worry, I'm sure we'll have commercials related to it based on what he did. And so he's standing there ready to accept the nomination, ready to declare victory, and he gets a call, and they say, "Hey, Helena's on the phone." And he looks really annoyed, and I would suggest you watch the video, watch his body language, and listen to the tone that he uses towards her. And what he says is, he waves her off and says, "Hang up on them." And what he meant is hang up on her. So there's such thing as being a sore loser, but there's also something that is being a sore winner. And that is a character problem. I cannot imagine a universe in which I would treat someone like that in a public or private moment. And that was so damaging publicly because you got to see a man that was petty, mean, and did not have the character that is required to be the governor. And everybody got to see it on TV. Jaws were dropping when he did that. And not only did he do, you have that moment, the scream on, it's happened to both sides of the, both types of politicians, Republicans, Democrats, you all see it, where all of a sudden they do something on stage and their career's over because people get a glimpse of what they are, or there's something they just don't want that in that person. And so I would say that that is one of the moments that in his character that he will regret, because we all saw what he was about and how he treats, and listen, I was probably the only person who vocally and aggressively supported Helena. As the Republican candidate, it was deafening the silence of the other side of progressives who speak about feminism, who speak about Me Too, who have all these ideas of how women should treat women and how they should be spoken about. But then, when it's not convenient for them, they're silent about that behavior. So it's the awkward position where you're the Republican candidate and you cannot be silent about that treatment because that is a character problem. So we went through character. We can go through competence, right? So of character, we're going to talk about his character, his corruption, his cronyism, his inability to tell the truth, his inability to answer any questions without asking special interest what his answer should be. I don't always get the answers that make everybody happy here, but at least you know where I stand, because I do not need to check with political consultants or donors or lobbyists to say what I think of something. And which matters, right? It doesn't always make you happy because you're not going to agree with me 100% of the time. But at the end of the day, you know what you're getting. And with him, he is for sale to the highest bidder. And what I've reminded unions and other individuals that have bought him off is that next time you might not be the highest bidder. And that is a problem with somebody who is for sale, is you think you have them this time, maybe you got them for the soccer stadium, but next time somebody pays them more, it's a little bit more politically convenient, you don't win. So what are you getting at the end of the day? And that is, I guess you shouldn't, try to buy people, but at the end of the day, if someone doesn't have integrity, you can never trust them. Now, competence is my big thing with him. I think that just watching him try to navigate policy speaks to his competence. That's why we are really, really excited that we were, through pressure, able to get him to debate before early voting started. That is how he won the primary, is by refusing to debate others. Votes were cast, and individuals were unable to see how competent he is. And the answer is really clear when you hear him speak. He's not competent. With me, you'll get somebody who's a little too wonky. I'm not great at talking points because I'll get excited, and that's why I haven't talked to everybody here, because I get stuck in conversations, going on for 15 minutes about the budget and how it's not real and the assumptions are wrong and bad. But you need a governor who is a competent administrator. And what we've seen in his administration is the inability to lead and drive policy through the departments, the inability to recruit talented individuals who want to serve. Because what you need in government is you can lead, but in Rhode Island, a lot of the job of being governor is being a competent administrator, making sure services are delivered to the people of Rhode Island in a way that is fiscally responsible and in a way that is socially responsible, right? You need to take care of vulnerable populations, but you cannot just throw money at things and hope that something's going to happen, which is what he's been doing. And so in terms of, competence is, related to, does he know the budget and understand how it works? I find it very cute when they question my competence in policy. It's, you obviously have not had a conversation with me for 10 minutes, because I will go on about, about policy and the approach to managing a budget. How do you create policy where you implement it in a way that the outcome is what you intended? These are questions of competence that require an intellectual curiosity, a depth, and quite frankly, experience doing it. And how my experience in building a business, taking a business from 2 people to a multi-million-dollar business in a number of years, required a lot of problem solving, a lot of figuring things out, and also, quite frankly, knowing what I was doing. And so what you will see with Dan is that he will fumble through different things. I mean, it is shocking to me when he did the quiz with the other candidates in the primary, he didn't even know how fully funded a pension needed to be in order for us to restore it. I don't understand that. Isn't that something as governor that you think about every day when you think about retirees that are upset about pension reform? Like, isn't the question how much longer until we are able to fulfill our obligations so that we can, so we can restore some of the things that were taken away? I mean, this is a man that professes to care about workers, but he doesn't even know those basic questions. So the 2 things that I will talk about a lot are character and competency. And like everything in politics, character will come first, because it's easier it's easier to have a conversation about the FBI investigation, how he conducted himself in business, in private business. And I don't want to do an oppo chop right now, but I know what he acted like in business, and I can tell you I'm proud of my record personally, and he should try to hide his. But he won't be able to, because for the first time ever, he's had an aggressive, all the other campaigns that he has been in, he's barely won, and they have not been ones that require scrutiny. Remember, he was not elected governor. So he never went through, it's true, and I intend to make that never happen, but he never went through the scrutiny that you go through as somebody who's running for governor. And so this will be the first time that people learn a lot about him. A lot of it will be related to character, but I will tell you, underlying that, if you listen to what I say about competency, about the inability to do education reform, the inability to understand the necessary elements. Don't tell me you started charter schools. Good for you. I'm glad you did that. But do you understand what needs to happen from a policy perspective based on empirical data to reform education? And the answer is he does not know, because he does not care. He does not want to be governor to actually fix the state. I do not need a title. I was not interested in that. What I want to do is ensure that we fix our state so it is an affordable place to live, work, and raise a family. And reform our education system. Thank you. I'm terrible at politics. I never pause when I'm supposed to. And I also want to make sure that we have the best education system in the country. And it is easy to get there. I don't say it's easy, but the path is really clear. And the only thing this state needs to start that process is a governor who has character and is confident. We need those two things. And that is why I'm running for governor. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you guys are buckling up because it is starting to get nasty between us. So look for the commercials. I always sign my name to the attack ads. I don't need to hide behind dark money. I am perfectly proud to stick behind what I am going to say. And also listen to the message, because we do have a vision for the future of Rhode Island. And his message is, I bribed everybody to get votes, I've given out a bunch of money, and I've demanded nothing in return other than elect me again. And that hurts our kids, it hurts our businesses, it hurts the taxpayers, and we need change. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Sorry it took so long.
Give it up for Ashley, everybody. Come on. Our next governor of Rhode Island. All right, so we're going to have some hay rides. We're going to have some cornhole over there. If you haven't eaten yet, the food is amazing.